Greetings, y'all. Hi there. Can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me? Hello? I can hear somebody in there, but no one's responding.
Yes, son. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, son. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Greetings, one and all, to the Cosmic Root Show again this Tuesday. You're in tune with Brother Siayome and the Cosmic Root Show. So, we got another show this evening. So, I'm gonna just a shout out to all my cosmic brothers and sisters, y'all. And, yeah, to tap into the topic this evening because, again, it's the cosmic weather and it's affecting people. I mean, a lot of stuff going on all over the place. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to get through. And, there's so much being picked up and sensed in the collective field. You see, many people don't know what to do with themselves. The time really now is to step into the power of self-definition, to realize your true essence and live from there. Now, we got this grand conjunction. This grand conjunction at the moment in time where we have a choice to center in our true essence and live from there. Basically tipping the scales with our consciousness. So I did a show titled some months ago, last year, titled Time, Karma, and the Harvest. And that was referring to this conjunction, planetary conjunction, that is taking place on the 12th of, basically in 5 days' time, on the 12th of January. Now, this conjunction is Saturn conjuncting Pluto. But we're going to also have the Sun conjuncting that. So right now, with a lot of things going on, I mean, there is, to keep myself on point here, man, because, all right, before I go into this, yes, for those of you who want to tune in, you can be tuning into live to this show on YouTube. Everything's back up and running, or, clear again. Or you can tune into blessradio.co.uk and tune in via the website. Or you can download the TuneIn app and tune in there, okay? So, yeah, I mean, the energy, what I'm going to be talking about is the energies present here now, because many people just dealing with what they see with their eyes and hearing with their ears and touching with their hands and tasting with their tongue and smelling with their nose. And, those five senses are limited. This is why they talk about the sixth sense, to tap into the higher intuitive consciousness, intelligence within yourself, of your soul. Now, there's a lot of confusion about all of, when it comes to knowing yourself and the time we're dealing with now. I was asked early today if we're what was it? The way the question was put was they was asking if this is the year of Aquarius, and if so, what does that mean? My response to them was, this is not the year of Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius. You're dealing with another archetype altogether differently to the one we've come out with from, which is Pisces. Now we're talking about time. Astrology is like it's astrology is more. It's not a personality test as such. It's not a personality test. A lot of people get caught up in personality complexities and think that's what astrology is about. Some people just chuck it out or whatever. The thing is that what goes beyond the rational intellectual mind and cannot be maybe verified by the rationale. Um, you know, there's a lot of things in the way people believe that's trying to deflect people away from the deeper truth of themselves and the tools or instruments that were set in place to assist you in that. So a lot of things are being distorted and based upon people's belief systems, which is what you're seeing prominent now, rising up. People's contrary belief systems is what's going to be used to manipulate this war they're trying to, this war narrative that is being talked about over the airwaves, you see. I'm going to go into that a little bit and may play something just to, you know, help out and so forth. But astrology is not a personality test or random concepts to believe in. It is the study, you can say, of the fabric of time itself and our place in space and time, because we have incarnated within time and space from a dimensional realm that is timeless when you're dealing with your essential identity. So, and it's also, astrology is like a cosmic clock, just like how you have particular time sets for certain things to take place, to occur, to happen. Okay, well, cosmic, you can see the astrology is like that cosmic clock. So I said this before on a show, you know, I've done quite a few shows, you know what I mean? So, but I've said this before, where when you have a certain time approach, certain things take place. When you look into nature, you got a natural time taking place, differently to man-made construction of time. And that time, when that time comes, certain things take place. Okay, for example, spring comes at a particular time. Summer comes at a particular time. Autumn comes at a particular time. Winter comes at a particular time. Okay, and when the time for winter has elapsed or gone through, then there's another trigger, activation point, right? In time and space, we call spring, the shooting or the springing forth of new shoots of plants and life, okay, starting the renewal of a cycle, okay, of growth, all right? And then we move into summer, okay, where the fullness of what was sprung forth in April, March is now you're getting the fullness of the heat to grow to the fullness of the, you know, of what nature is consisting of when you're dealing with plants and trees and so forth. Now we're dealing with a time where it's about going inward. Okay, when you look at the animals and so forth, a lot of them are hibernating now. Okay, when you look at the trees, when you look at you know, the nature around you, there is a hibernation taking place. Okay, so there is an inward journey. All right, and just like you go home, you go behind your, you know, your doors, your front door, you go into your home, and in there is where you're recollecting and regathering yourself, okay? Regenerating yourself, like when you go to rest, okay? And when that melatonin kicks in the dark, then this is what proceeds the, takes out the, you know, it directs the healing process, you know what I mean? Your body and cells are regenerating and so forth. And the melanin also cleans up what they call free radicals, which they're, you know, they say is contributes to, free radicals is what contributes to cancerogenic illnesses or so forth. The thing is, there's a time when that melatonin secretes, which is nighttime, okay? And then in the daytime, you get your serotonin, which makes you awake, wakefulness. So there's a time regulator, okay? Like a thermostat and heater, you get? So astrology is like this, but on a more of a deeper cosmic level, dealing with, it impels thoughts and it activates energies to come forth. And what you do with these energies now is up to you. But the energies are being activated for you to use. So it's not something controlling you like, people think astrology is something that's predicting and, it's fatalistic, you can't do nothing about it, all that type of stuff. That's not what it is. It's not stuff for you to believe in that way at all. It is a system to enable you to stay in tune to yourself, your soul. So what we got happening here now within this grand conjunction, because where do you think energies are coming from? Why do you think you're feeling, the feelings that are predominant in the collective field? Why do you think certain things are taking place at these particular times? You got folk who are feeling a lot of anxiety right now. Got some youngsters on the bus talking about they're feeling anxiety and so forth. And, a lot of people are in their head. There is a lot of things being picked up in the collective field, but because there's not this broader understanding of your interconnection, your connectivity to all of life, there's this the mind is like, what's going on? And, the ego starts flipping out in fear, okay? And with all of that taking place, people come to allow fear to govern their actions or the conclusions they come to. Now, what we got going on, we got the grand conjunction, taking place on the 12th of January, 13th, which is this grand conjunction is between, right now, Saturn and Pluto. These energies, these archetypes, these planetary forces are correlate with your chakra points, okay? Your energy vortex is in your energy body, okay? And so these planetary energies corresponds to your chakra system, okay? So the consciousness of these wandering stars, planets, are activating various energies within the collective and the individual, okay? So you got Jupiter, you've got Mercury, you've got the Sun, you've got Saturn, you've got Pluto, all in Capricorn. So for all you Capricorns out there, been feeling some heavy pressure, man, throughout, And this is all for the evolution of consciousness. So let me get back to some of my notes, y'all. You see, what's happening here is that there's a shaping. It's like, there's a question. What is shaping your perception you have of yourself? What is shaping your perception? All the beliefs you carry as beliefs, not knowing, are ideas. Ideas you've taken on from the narrative you hear spilled out from the external, projected towards you from the environment you're in, okay? And these projections, these ideas, they then now become what you believe in. Hence you, what they call faith is trust. So you're trusting in what you believe in, but what you're believing in you don't know, because it's an idea that is not being necessarily validated, verified, okay? It's just to be accepted. If I put my hand up to my face and I'm looking at my hand, I'm not saying I believe this is my hand. I can say I know this is my hand. Yeah, my hand, not somebody else's hand. I don't have to believe it's my hand. I know it's my hand because I'm having direct experience where you're dealing with your own anatomy, okay? And you got your own hand as other people got their own hands. So I don't need to believe that I got a hand or I'm looking at my hand. I know this is my hand. And when I say my hand, it means that therefore I am whom possess this hand. Okay? So simplifying something, beliefs are ideas. And ideas can become true for people who believe in those ideas or trust in those ideas. And the thing is, though, those ideas are not based on any reality. Okay? But because you are the creative force, when we're talking about the true essential you or the I of you, this, you give power to those thoughts or those ideas and make them real for you or the group that buys into such, collective ideas. So based upon what people believe, which may be true or not true, okay, is how people are going to be moved, okay, activated. They're going to react to the narrative and the spin that is coming through the news right now. I mean, look at the timing. The timing. Just before we're going to come into this conjunction, okay? All right, this grand conjunction and this major one when we're dealing with Saturn and Pluto. But on the 12th and the 13th, the sun is going to conjunct with Saturn and Pluto. Okay. So this is some intense stuff. This is intense energy waves here. You're dealing with cosmic waves of energy coming in to establish a new era, a new time, a new energy, a new operation, or you can say a new game, because this is a holographic illusion, which is basically what they described the Matrix as, was a neuroactive simulation for the mind, okay? So this is what this is. You hear something on the news and many people just believe it because the narratives, the way the narrative is on the news is very emotive. It's very speculative. It's presumptuous. For example, this whole thing about America, you were saying Iran, okay? I mean, I've heard the news reports where they're saying things, they're coming out with things like, the American public are going to be targets for the retaliation of what's taking place. Now, what are you talking about? That's putting fear in people. They're thinking, what? You see, this is orchestrated stuff. And we're living at a time now that it really demands your presence to yourself. It really demands that you don't knee-jerk and react to buy into the narratives you're hearing spun through the media. The media's a lie, okay? And what's going to come through is a lot of people, even the average Joe is noticing certain things, They're not just kind of, believing everything, hook, line, and sinker. So that's showing you how even the average Joe is noticing something's not right with that or this or whatever, okay? But there needs to be more awakening within the self, to really begin to see what the real deal's been going on, what kind of games being played on humanity, if we want to use that term. Now, We got a full moon eclipse on the 10th of January, 2 days before the grand conjunction taking place in Capricorn. Okay. So the full moon eclipse we're having on the 10th in Cancer. All right. Water sign. The same day we have this full moon eclipse is the same day Uranus goes direct in Taurus. So what it is that we've got all planets going direct. This is about moving forward now. The energies are moving forward. Okay. So by the time we get into this grand conjunction, Saturn, Pluto, Sun, Mercury on the 12th and the 13th, the January moon will be waning in the sign of Leo, meaning that the full moon would have moved on by the 12th and the 13th into a waning moon, and that's moving into Cancer. Moving into Leo. Correction, moving into Leo. All right. So, wow, how am I going to put this all together? This goes back to now the shaping of your perception, okay? The shaping of your perception. Self-perception. How you perceive yourself is how you will experience yourself and how others will receive you. But everyone's walking around with a perception that they have of themselves, which isn't based upon the reality of being, the source or truth of their being. It's perceptions based upon programming, conditioning. You see, you've got something going on in another country which correlates. You see, they always kind of correlate stuff to religion, all right? So you got Muslims, right? Muslims religion, all right? And you got Sunni and you got Shiite. Same religion, but different fractions, different groups. You've got Christianity, and you got people who believe in, they call them Christians, they believe in Christ, okay? But there's all different groups within Christianity, all right? And that group is at odds with another group because the other group don't have the truth. They don't, what they're teaching of Christianity isn't the truth we're teaching over here. We got the truth, more truer teachings of Christianity over here than those over there, okay? So you create this duality within a group, which is supposed to resonate with the same group belief, but yet there is separation and division under that umbrella, all right, of that religion called Christianity, right? You've got that you got the umbrella of Islam, Muslim, but you got different fractions in that. You got it in other religions, okay? You got groups within the same, belief system, religious belief system, at odds with one another. So now, if what you had was the truth, you wouldn't. Look at all these diverse beliefs, right, within the same thing. Okay. Now, whatever you want to believe will become true for you. Okay, but it doesn't make it absolute truth. It's relative. It's relative to truth to who believes what they believe is true. Okay. And I've said earlier that belief and knowing is not the same. Belief is an idea, and you could believe something that turns out to be true in the sense of like some evidence comes to confirm the fact, so to speak. Yeah. Then you have more substance to embrace. Okay, which then you can eventually graduate out of believing into knowing, okay? Because there is a process of where that which is true confirms itself, okay? But this thing's really touchy, okay? This thing's really it can appear complicated, because the thing is this: as long as one holds on to the belief that the creative source and power is external to themselves, and they're holding on to mental concepts of beliefs, okay, and energizing those thoughts rather than integrating reality itself through the mind, through the emotional body, to be experienced through your physical vehicle, unless that's taking place, then what's happening is that many people are believing in mental concepts, even spirituality, mental concepts, okay? Then you're actually giving power to an illusion, to have an illusion, a limited fear-based belief or a limited belief to have power over you. But you're the power. You see, we get conditioned to believe the power and authority is external to us, because we're living in a world where beings from, you can say, beings from outside of this atmosphere, all right, of the planet, have come to this planet and interfered with the consciousness of the individual beings here. Unconscious to the beings here, to realize what's been happening. About 3,500 years ago, there is saying that the DNA of the incarnated beings here in physical form was deactivated unconsciously to ourselves. So when that was deactivated, we weren't able to sense or tune into that which, the universal consciousness, the consciousness of all of us reflected in nature around you. Okay? People can have dreams where a plant is telling you, all right, the consciousness in the plant is speaking to you and telling you what it's good for, what it should be used for. Okay? That's how knowledge of plants and herbs can come directly to you. Now, all of this was being done way before 6,000 years ago, before religion, okay, before belief systems to actually control and manipulate the perception people hold about themselves and reality. Now, when these beings, what they've been doing is projecting into your consciousness ideas that come from them. And those ideas are of a separative nature. So this is why we have on this planet separative consciousness, separative thinking. What I mean by that is, it's based upon this versus that. It's based on this duality where you got heads and tails on a coin. But instead of heads and tails being part of the whole coin, you're having heads being adverse to tails. You get what I mean? Light adverse to darkness. You got good and bad, you got these polarities that's being created by man, love and hate. You know what I'm saying? When love in its purest sense, in its at the primordial energy, doesn't have an opposite to it. Okay? Fear, on the other hand, is the absence or the non-awareness of that connectivity that one has to all life. So there's a disconnection. And from that disconnection is the illusion of separateness. From the illusion of separateness, we come into having to compete with others who we perceive as separate from ourselves or separate in creation. And now you got to compete with these separate, you're perceiving yourself as separate, so you perceive others as separate, okay? So this is what breeds this it breeds contention. It sets up the foundation for war games. There was a movie called War Games back in 1983. And check it out. You know what I mean? Some of the old movies, I'm telling you, the old movies were telling you shit that was happening, all right? What was going on, right? It was like, and some of them are projected programming, okay? Because in the movie it's telling you things that is to come, or things that are actually happening, or what's actually being played out, right, in your midst without your conscious awareness. And then years later, you see this thing acted out in the environment. Okay, so in this film War Games, basically this dude built this this powerful computer. It's called Whopper, WOPR, which is War Operative Planned Response. So this computer has been programmed to win wars. Okay, like it's playing a game of chess. War is another game. Yeah, it's another game. Just like, chess, drafts, tic-tac-toe, you know what I mean? It's another game. And what's happening in this time is that the energy's coming in, it's changing the whole game. The old game is crumbling. The old game is getting deleted. And a new game is being, you can say a new game is being uploaded, all right? But this new game is about unity consciousness. It's about aligning with your true essence and living your life from there, not from the manipulated perception you have of yourself, not from the false teachings, what they call education, that has been passed on through generation to generation, not from the limited traditions that are might have worked at a particular time, but it's not for this time. You know what I mean? And you've got the issue with emotional security, unconscious emotional security patterns, where people hold on to the past because it's familiar. Even pain can become so familiar that some people think if they was to heal and let go of this pain, who would they be? Because they've actually created an identity for themselves through this pain, that they carry. Now, you got a story. Everyone's got a story, a format of your story. But your story is an experience. It's not who and what you are. And many people in this time are really going to be having to ask the deep question, who am I? Because many people believe that they are John Smith, the label given to them. All right. Again, about this beliefs. You see, beliefs are dangerous things, because based on the differences of what people believe is what makes people react to things that challenge their belief system. Right now, when they react to what's challenging their belief system, rather than understanding that actually this is a catalyst to make me look inside and question why and what I believe. But instead, many people, faith, meaning trust, they trust in what they believe, because they're afraid of examining it, because it's become some kind of emotional security based upon what you believe. And if your belief is being threatened, you're being threatened. That's how it gets equated. So in this time, what's going on, coming up with the WW3, World War III. I said some time before that, look, you're dealing with a lot of things. There's a lot of changes going on this planet. You're talking about climate change. And all this climate change is actually natural. A lot of this stuff is being manipulated, manufactured, okay? But palmed off based on your beliefs, especially in the erroneous idea of God or the creative source of all things. Based on those erroneous teachings, a lot of people believe that what's going on is, it's God, When it's like, actually, if you knew yourself, you would know what God's will is and the nature of source, that it doesn't flex like that. But the thing is, all right. Just like we got all of this mobile phones we got, we use all this technology now. This is a sign of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius is about technology and higher consciousness, right? And liberation from that which limits and stifles the progression and continuous evolution of the soul, okay? Because Aquarius is about the time now where we have to tap in and wake up to our unique individuality. Not the egoic individuality, the surface identity, which is just a program for you. I'm talking about the deep I. Aquarius is about liberation, of the soul from these limited precepts, concepts, and so forth, these limited ideas. The soul is the reality of you. And it's like, it's what we're going through now is really, you can say, reality waking up to itself. I mean, there's, how many times you've heard that people got to face reality. But if you mistake the holographic illusion for what's real, you think reality is constituted of this passing, impermanent, state. Okay. Then if you think that's real, then this is what is called, you're caught up in an illusion and also deluded, because you're going to be looking outside of yourself for the ultimate meaning, like people running to church now or running to certain things because they're feeling afraid. Because in the collective field of consciousness, you as a sentient being, and if your consciousness is at a level of frequency where you can tune in, it's like an aerial, like a receiver, transmitter. You can tune in to all what's being broadcast through the ethers. Okay? And then you begin to receive these impressions, or you start to feel certain ways, okay? Which is where you getting a lot of people picking up the fear, anxiety, in the collective consciousness. And then that trickles down to the individual. And if you are not centered in yourself, you're going to take on what's going on in the collective as your feelings. And then you get swept away like a driftwood in a tsunami wave. Yeah? And this is what is being played upon. Those who are ignorant to the deeper eye of themselves. They're seeing out of a false eye. So what they're thinking is real isn't real. Okay? It's orchestrated. It's orchestrated. What happens is that when you get things projected to you, information projected to you, that's what you're getting. TV is projecting thoughts to you. Yeah? You walk on the road and you got all this advertising and everything trying to take your attention and project another freaking idea into your mind. It's all over the place. Yeah? This is time for us to take back our own power and authority of ourself. Okay? Because what you're seeing is a structure, an organization, a definition start crumbling. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing holes. You're seeing light piercing through all of these holes that's being now exposed within this deception. It's a grand deception. Okay? You got people who are so ignorant, they'll be like, but why would anybody want to lie to us? Why would they want to do this? Why would they, like a little infantile child? And they're big people in the sense that, they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 40s. And it's just like inconceivable. But why would they lie? Why would anybody lie to, this is really a really ignorant place to be, if that is where one's coming from, you're coming from there. So these energies here, man, is ramping up because last year I said that it's been a really intense year, a clear out, okay? A lot of things people take personally and don't understand that there is layers to creation. And that it's like peeling away, and there's layers just like there's layers to ourselves. You got an inner and you got an outer, okay? So if you kind of equate that to an onion, you look at an onion's got many layers. But the thing is that you got the surface and then you got the deep. You got the inner and you got the outer, okay? So what's happening is that it is time for us to really connect with the inner core, not the surface layers. where the hologram, the deception is being played out for you to believe that something is what it looks like, but it's not actually that. You know, you have to get into the core, get into the reality of that which you're seeking to know. And this is why we're living in a time where the energies are shifting. It's time to know. Aquarius is I know. Now there's this idea, there's this saying, who feels it knows it. What that means is that who goes in to examine themselves, who goes in or to penetrate into, right, that which they seek to gain more knowledge of. You will get to a point where experiential knowledge now, not intellectual stuff, brings further revelations, but it's going to bring revelation that goes beyond the dependence of just theories. A lot of things that people believe is real and true are actually theories. They believe that the people who are talking about it, like scientists, well, they must be an authority on the subject they're talking about, okay? So because of that preposition, you presume you know that, oh, this person is an authority when they're talking about, because they're a scientist. Then what they say you take as an authority. You take like they're telling you facts or truth. But actually, a lot of it is theory. So what ends up happening is that theory gets taken as facts, and then some people want to believe that fact's reflecting truth. And then you're running up and down with the stuff. You're allowing that to shape your perception of yourself and your world. When it's a theory they're talking about. They're theorizing. Recently, they've been doing a lot of experiments scientifically to validate or verify if their theory is true. Right? This is where you got what you got, quantum physics and stuff. But there are some experiments which is validating things. But then there is still a lot of theory where there hasn't been any experiment, or they don't know how to set up an experiment to validate the theory. So it remains as a theory, but spoken as if to say it's a blimmin' fact. And then people turn around and take that in. And they use that to shape their perceptions, and that feeds into more of the deluded beliefs people carry. So if you can shape and manipulate people's perceptions, then you control everybody. So when I'll go back and talk about beliefs now, you know, I did a show about, look, when Jupiter was in Sagittarius, it's been, you know, it's moved out of Sagittarius. It's in there for a year or a little bit more, and now it's moved into Capricorn. So when a planet or an energy field is in a archetype, it's doing a work, it's operating, it's doing something, especially when you're dealing with a return of a planet to its home sign. It means you now it's a culmination. You're recapitulating everything that you've gathered, questioning it, and in order to move forward in a new way, you have to expand beyond everything you come to say you know now. Then you're going to now grow beyond that, because that's going to become limiting if you try to bring that into the new cycle. So these limiting beliefs is what's been really being brought up to the surface. Things have been happening to make people react in order to question what they believe, what they think truth is. But more time, people are looking to find out the truth of this person, that person, this thing over there. You know, you got people who are, you know, they have time to study a celebrity's life, what they eat, what time they wake up, what they wear, where they like to go, what they don't like. And you think, shit, you got people who will spend a year studying the personality and the works of another individual. And they may know this, have a lot of information and facts they can reel off about this other individual and their works that they've done and the things they've contributed to. They will know more about this individual than they know about themselves. And you think, wow. If you was to invest all of that energy, that same energy to know everything about somebody else, looking up their, hidden regions to discover what's going on, Oh, I want to know about them. What are they distracting themselves from? Is the knowledge of their own self. Why can't you go so deep into yourself, put all of that energy you're looking to find evidence and information about other people? Why don't you put that energy into you to discover and rediscover and realize who you truly are beyond this illusion? Many people use things to deflect the attention away from themselves. They just want to kind of hang out in the illusion, okay? The egocentric separative idea, Some people feel bad inside of themselves. This is all related to what you hold and believe, your perception of yourself. This is what it does. But you got, then they want to pull down other people so they don't feel bad, so bad about themselves because they're not alone. You got some folk who feel miserable, and when they realize other people are feeling like that, inside it's like a relief. I'm not alone in this miserable state. Yeah, but you're still in a miserable state. So what does that help you? How does that relieve the misery? You see what I mean? How does that relieve the depression? You see? And depression is one of the big things that a lot of people are feeling now. They're getting, going into a depression. And so you got to understand that the manipulators at hand, their time is up. And there's a saying that when the devil's time is up, and and devil means adversary. So you can say those who are adverse to life, man, and the free will, right, of all sentient beings, all sentient life. They don't honor that. So what happens is you're dealing with that statement where when the devil's time is up, it's going to try and take as many people out as he goes or she goes. Right? So, and because many people believe it's for me, it's a collective group ego, okay? A lot of this stuff is just groups, egoic groups who don't, they're against those who don't believe and think as they do. And this is what is used to create the division, and this is what creates wars. What they're trying to do, when I say they, come on now, we're dealing with, this whole freaking system is structured, okay? What you call governmentos, yeah? Governing your mind, governmentos, right? The true government is within you, the divine government, okay? But we've, as I said, a system's been set up where after you're dealing with the manipulation of the inhabitants here. Now, some people, let me bring this and tie this up to other things. Even folks who may think that this is outlandish, religious people. Okay, go into your Bible. What does it talk about these fallen angels? What does it talk about? Beings came, saw that the women of the earth was fair. Fair in Hebrew means beautiful. So they came down, right, from beyond the atmosphere of this planet and went in onto them or took them, right, as their wives. So there is interventions of beings from external, from beyond this environment that has interfered with what's going on here. You got a book of Enoch that breaks that down big. And that was taken out the Bible. Remember, Bible means book. So it was taken out of the compilation of what has been used as the books to be called the Bible. It's been taken out to King James. Now the thing is, if y'all was reading that, they know that all the games that's being played, you would see right through it because it's all explained in that book. And you have to ask yourself, why? How would it, that would mean that someone's orchestrating this whole worldly event on a script that they've got you all to believe in. Yeah. So they can start a forest fire. They can set up, because it's how you're using technology. You see, these telephones, they work off these big masks, right? It's a receiver transmitter. So you need these big masks, these big towers, okay? Plotted all over the place. I think about 50 million of them all over the place. Different parts of the world. And it's all feeding off of frequencies, okay? Now, we are frequency. I'm talking now, there's a frequency in my voice, okay? I have said before that all of creation is consciousness made visible, okay? And consciousness is primordial energy, all right? It's even proven in science that actually out of nothing, things come. And the things that come out of nothing return back into nothing, okay? So really what that's saying, there's a formless, right, unconditioned dimension, which is the origin of ourselves. And from that unconditioned, formless dimension, things come into being. Things become conditioned, structured, formed, organized, okay, into forms as vehicles for your non-physical self's expression and exploration, okay, of consciousness through these forms. But whom you are is a formless awareness, okay, and timeless and ageless. So what I'm saying is that all of this is frequency, okay? Every emotion has a frequency. Every thought has a frequency. Your body has a frequency. Words have frequencies. Colors have frequencies and vibrations. You see what I'm saying? All words have tonal, electromagnetic tonal frequencies and colors. Okay? But then now when you get a manufactured version of frequencies, then now these frequencies that man makes works out of harmony, all right? It works out of harmony with you and with nature. So what you get now is where you get manufactured frequencies which are being transmitted through the atmosphere, which is actually now penetrating into people's auric fields, which is creating disturbance in their energy systems. Got people that then manifests as physical symptoms, where people are now saying that, been saying for a long time that these frequencies of these cell phones are carcinogenic. Women have been known to be exposed to being living 1 mile distance to one of them big mask aerial antennas that you see, okay? And it took 7 years. They have reports where they say it takes 10 years for any signs of the adverse effects that the cell towers and so forth put out. It takes 10 years before, or 7 to 10 years before you see any evidence on it. Okay. So now 10 years later, you got folks, coming up with breast cancer and brain tumors and all of that type of stuff. Okay. Now it seems like I've digressed and I've gone off somewhere, but what I'm trying to explain is about how frequencies, when we talk about manufactured frequencies, are used to kill people, to mess them up, to control populations, okay? All of this is about divide, rule, and conquer. And this was of the old cycle of deception that we were in for the last 2,160 years, which they call the age of Pisces. Because Pisces is the two fish, so it's the age of duality, okay? And it's deception because prior to religion, you had those who would be known as shamans or magi's or healers, witches, which is wise, means wise one, wise woman. They knew about the interconnection to source. They knew it wasn't outside in some building, something man-made external to you. We all had the ability to tune in through stillness and align with our inner connection to source. Now, because all is consciousness made visible. That's how you can tune into the consciousness of a plant, and the plant can tell you what it does, what it's good for, you see, and other things, because all is consciousness. And whom we are, we have the ability, because of the divine conscious intelligence of our soul, we can tune into the consciousness of different things in order to gain insight directly from it, to know, so you get the knowledge firsthand. All right. And then they went on a killing spree, okay? Because if you need to set up a different, unnatural system for people to live a certain way, an unnatural way, you got to kill off and all that which is a threat, okay, to your agenda. So this is what's happened. But you see, those souls are coming back now. Those souls who know, okay, that the connection is within, and not caught up in these external authorities or unauthentic authorities, okay? Because these external unauthentic authorities is what's been manipulating the perception of the masses here for thousands of years, unbeknownst to you, unbeknownst, because many are walking in unconsciousness. That's what you call sleepwalkers, okay? It's about what I think Carl Jung, who was studying the ancient Kemetic papyruses, and he ended up saying that you have to become conscious of the unconscious, because that which remains unconscious, right, directs your life, and is called fate. So you hear people that will turn around and think, oh, it's just fate, it was fated to happen. Fate also links with fatality, the word fatal, okay? So basically, what you're unconscious of, and you don't have no conscious knowledge to understand the cause and effect behind, what's taking place in your life, you call it fate. That's another way of saying unconscious. You're living unconsciously. The time we're in now is to become conscious of the unconscious. And this is why the energies are so intense. And this is why all around the place now, all around the place, what's kicking off? Yeah, you've got the fires in Australia. Yeah, with all the things going on in the world right now, like the fires in Australia going on. You got people protesting in Hong Kong, people protesting in France, amongst other places. You got America and Iran, which they're now trying to kick off this WW3, World War III, right? And, you got stuff going on, kicking off in Jamaica and the other islands in the Caribbean, etc. Okay, it's like, whoa, all simultaneously. You think people are, it's like, why are there such madness going on? Not everybody is sane. Think about the things people believe in and what they will actually go to war for based upon what I said already. You got people in the same religious denomination, and they got different groups, and they're at war with each other based upon the differences that they have about the same thing they believe in. And rather than let's reason about it and expand both of our consciousness of the truth, now let's go to war. So you got the thing going on here where if you buy into the narratives of this WW3, and let me say WW3, World War III, WW3 comes to 13. We deal with the numerological values of words, of letters, okay, of letters, which are symbolic markers that you use to arrange and create words out of. You're dealing with letters, which are symbols, and they have frequency and variables. Yeah, they have numerical values. So when you see WW3, they're telling you it's 13. 13 is a feminine transformational force, okay? You're dealing with the death card on the tarot. I'm talking correspondence now, yeah? Correspond now. This is how you can discern what is true to what is not.
So because you'll see correspondences, just like when they're talking about fractals, okay? They're seeing that the same shape is repeating itself again and again and again and again and again on finite levels of a design, okay? Now, so you got 13. 13 is transformation. Death is an illusion. So 13 is representing what? Life, death, and rebirth. It's a death card. Death represents letting go. It represents the dissolving of an illusion. Death is really the ultimate letting go of this illusion. But you're supposed to wake up to reality while you're embodied, okay? Which means taking control back of your own mind, your own emotions, your own physical vehicle, rather than operating based upon what you've been programmed with through the institutions, even families and parents. I mean, if folk ain't doing that, asking that deep fundamental question, who am I, beyond the label I was given to call myself, beyond the concepts and ideas that I've been using to define and perceive myself, relate to myself through. What you're seeing is where all of this is being challenged. It's creating, because we're in a time where, as I said, Aquarius is liberation. And it's about I know. Who feels it knows it, you see, because it's an experiential truth. When you're dealing with source, the creative source of your being, realizing this is you. But based on the limited beliefs people hold on to religiously, they would even find some of what I've just said there, like, what you mean, you're God, you know what I mean? You see, and they will fight and hold on to that stuff. Because fear, if you're not secure in what you believe, then if something comes up to challenge it or make you question, anxiety, fear, you see, you need, look what's going on. Why do you need to believe anything anyway? You know, why is it that there's this strong emphasis to keep you believing things, or to attack you if you choose to believe something differently? And as I said, beliefs are ideas. So you can say all beliefs are true. All beliefs are true based on who believes, or who holds that belief to be true for them. All right. Hang on a second. Am I getting someone calling? No. Okay, I thought I was getting somebody calling through here. So look, I'm trying to explain. All right, anybody there? Okay, I thought I was getting a call come through here. So what I'm saying is that, listen, man, the atmosphere, the climate, this is really not a time for you to be rushing around the blimmin' place, feeling you got to do this, do that and stuff. This is time to really come back home to yourself. Capricorn is a feminine sign. It's earth. It's about going back home. And Capricorn is about the manifestation. It's governed by Saturn. Okay? It's about organization, definition, the dynamics within you that is organizing and defining your personal identity. Okay? So what we're going through at this time with this conjunction, this grand conjunction, and with Saturn conjuncting Pluto, within the south node of the moons, which is the past, it's saying, hey, look, you see the all those limited fear-based beliefs, you can't move forward with that. You see all that structure, what the old structure and the old definitions, that as the foundation you been, using to build everything you've been building upon. That cannot move forward in the new, okay? Within the new energy, this new 10 years, okay? We've hit a marker point. 2020 is about clear vision. It means like clear the mud out your eye, okay? And it's about, you got to let go. You got to allow the old limited fear-based beliefs that you use as structures to define who you are. You got to let it go. And this is what may not be let go of without a fight, because of the security patterns, unconscious emotional security patterns people are deriving from what they believe. And it's an idea, okay? So what's happening here is that this world, this WW3 that you're hearing going around the joint is like, you see, what they're planning is to have a religious war. Look how people are warring because the difference of beliefs. This is mad. Look, you got people in Christianity who will say, you're not baptized? Lord, you're go into hell if you're not baptized, you know. Yeah. They judge. You got a spiritual ego even in spiritual groups and religion and stuff because they think they're better than those who are not believing in what they believe. So if you don't believe in what they believe, you're all going to hell. And what is hell? Hell is a man-made motherfreaking ideology. But in reality, it's wherever you are suffering. That's your hell. It's not a place, location, geographical. Huh? Why? You know, this concept has already, had been changed around because before hell was down under the ground, yeah, hell was in the sky due to the sun. Why is hell an environment of fire? Why? Some people would say, well, freaking heck, being in the middle of some stark place, cold in winter, that's blimmin' hell. That could be a hell. So basically, hell is really where you are suffering within yourself. And that is reflected on what you're choosing to believe in. You see? But you got folks who would say, well, they believe in what they believe and they're more superior to you. They're going to heaven. I'm going to heaven because why? You don't believe what we believe. And we know said those who don't believe in what we believe are going to hell. You got every religion that seems to have some more, well, the majority of them have that doctrine all placed in there. In Islam, oh, well, if you're not a believer, non-believers, infidels. So they deserve to be killed and destroyed. Look at that shit. And then you got the hypocrisy of where people are talking about, well, their God is of love, God is of love. Jesus, gosh, is he the son or is he the father? But the thing is that you're dealing with awakened consciousness when you're dealing with the esoteric understanding of these things. But the point I'm saying is, all of these religions will profess that their God is about love, peace. Well, Christianity will turn around and say, no, we have a warring God, man. My God is jealous and he will fight for me. Yeah. Destroy my enemies and all of those type of things. So this is what justifies people to go to war with other countries. And they'll always turn around and say, see, they'll always do a prayer and ask God to give them victory. Look, everyone's asking for God to give them victory and they go into war with each other. Something's crazy with all of that, don't you see? And therefore it shows you that if people are believing in those things and can't see that, hang on, something's not right with that, you're damn well insane. And insane means you're not clean in your mind. Sane comes from sanity, sanitation. That's what it simply means. You need to purge your mind from all of these corrupted thoughts and ideologies. You need to return to the pure consciousness that you actually are. And this is why it even says, be still and know. They would say, no, I am God. I say, be still and know I am source. Who's saying that? Where is that coming from? Outside of you? No, y'all. That's telling you how to meditate. Through meditation and observing and not dealing with a thinking process, this is how you tune in to the deeper levels of yourself. You become aware that you are awareness, yeah, realizing itself. You're not this mind and filled with its mental concepts, contained with the mental concepts. You're not the emotions based on the experiences you've had that you then derive an identity out of. And you're not the physical form that you turn around and limit your existence to, okay? You're pure awareness, pure consciousness. Your awareness and consciousness is what's enabling you to comprehend what I'm saying. It's interfacing with, you're hearing a voice, your awareness, okay? You're aware that you exist, ain't you? Just to sit into It's simple, you see. Just to sit in the simplicity of this moment and know I'm the awareness of this moment. I'm not, you don't have to be aware of you being the labels now. That's when your mind comes in. Oh, you're what? You're aware of what? You're the clothes you got, the labels you carry, you're aware of this and that. That's, you don't need all of that to be aware. You're pure awareness itself. You see, consciousness awareness. Some people say, oh, consciousness is only awareness. No, consciousness is the creative force. Consciousness is life. Okay? You're dealing with energy and power, creative intelligence. Yeah. 90%, 95% of our bodily functions is operating through the unconscious. They say the subconscious, which is your deeper awareness, is operating all the vital functions in your body without your conscious awareness of it. Like your heart's beating. You're not consciously pumping your heart. So there's a deeper intelligence within yourself operating through the subconscious that you're unconscious of. Hence why the subconscious and unconscious is synonymous. Subconscious is the deeper awareness. That's what it means. So what's the deeper awareness? What your deeper awareness contains? Where's that deeper awareness? That deeper awareness is the deeper awareness or the subconscious of your soul. Yeah. Your soul's coming here to rid itself of all of the impurities, meaning all of the concepts, all of the ideas, false identification, false attachments. It's rid itself of all these separative desires and separative beliefs. That's what your soul coming here to do. Purge itself from all of what's not true, what's not real. And then you got folks who want to hold on to that. So the reason why this grand conjunction is so intense is that what you're here to let go of is what you've been carrying for cycles. I'm talking about what's being carried through for lives and lives and lives. What you've been carrying from all prior lives to this one. What you've been carrying for the last 2,160 years through one age or sign archetype of the wheel of life, the disc of life. Huh? This is what you're freeing and liberating yourself from. It's not just, oh, I'm, like human psychology wants to keep people trapped to their childhood. All your problems issue from gestation to now, the womb to now. That's where all your problems, keep you stuck in this child thing. When actually, you were never born. Your body was born, but you were never born. Yeah. You've always existed because your existence itself. But what's happening here is that all of these beliefs that is being carried for sight, all these limited fear-based beliefs, limiting fear-based beliefs. Someone could have a belief, an idea that could be more positive for them. But if you notice, most of the beliefs people choose to hold on to are very limiting and fear-based. It's separative. It's based on fear, separation. Therefore, what you fear, you project. Yeah? You fear, you project your fears onto that which, is unknown to you. You don't know. And then you go into a what? A defense mode to attack before it attacks you. All to do with your fear that you're projecting on the scene. So we have this opportunity to really let go of all of these beliefs we've been carrying for cycles. Cycles. Not just this prior life, this life, it's prior lives. Okay, this is why it's so deep. This is why it's so intense. So, it's the fear of centuries, trauma and fear of centuries that you're looking to purge from your system. Okay. But what you have with the orchestrators of this hologram is to use those fears to trigger you into reacting through the forced narrative they're presenting. Yeah. Look, your beliefs are going to be used if you don't purge your heart from all of this nonsense and attune to the pristine, yeah, purity of your own being. Yeah, your soul. You're the divine essence. I am divine essence. I am a reflection of the all originated creative source of all being. That's the knowledge. That's the self-knowledge that you're not going to get in a college. Yeah, that you need to open up and awaken to. You see? In this time. Yeah, because it's liberation time. But it's not in the way that you're going to see some people who are going to rebel and act out from their trauma. Yeah. Let me tell you something. A lot of these groups and organizations keep repeating the same thing based on the beliefs. Okay. Based on these beliefs. And people believe history is real. History is a lie. But you're going to formulate narratives to create a perception of yourself to believing based on these lines. Many people are just focusing on manpower. You even have the term manpower rather than source power within themselves. You see, so let me go to some of my notes that I wanted to make sure. Yeah, so we were being stripped back to the bone, you can say, in 2019 to create room to expand and amplify our inner gold. Let me repeat that again. Last year, we were getting stripped back to the bone. And bones is actually governed by Saturn and Capricorn. Yeah? The skeletal structure. Yeah? That all the, skin and muscle and fatty tissue and nerves and all of that stuff is built around. Okay? So you're being stripped back to the bone last year. Things were intense. I mean, things were unexpected. Endings were unexpected. Things happened so abruptly, so suddenly. It was like a shock. Relationships ending. Like just out the blue. Energies. Because your soul, you see, the ego can't control none of this. And this is what you see trying to still hold on to power is the egocentric idea of power. And that's what you see going on around the world, with these so-called pockets of authority, these false, non-authentic authorities that be manipulating the consciousness and the perception of peoples for centuries. This is wake-up time. So last year was a stripping back, and a lot of this ancestral baggage you carry, was supposed to come up to be purged. See, a lot of people talk about ancestors, and I just not into none of the way it's talked about. I am the ancestor. You are the ancestor, okay? And what you do with your time and energy here now determines whether you heal yourself and all this ancestral stuff from the past or hold on to it and become a product of that. You got people talking about, you see, this is what I'm saying about beliefs. You got people who's talking about, I wouldn't be here without my ancestors. No, you wouldn't be here without the source of life. Because your ancestors were playing a role in the corporeal suit and vehicle they came in. But who they really were are divine sparks of life. Themselves. Souls. Which I already talked about. The soul is immutable, unchanging, indestructible consciousness, okay, of energy. Yeah, the soul is immutable consciousness of energy, and they do tell you in science that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Okay, but you're dealing with consciousness because energy is intelligence, intelligent energy. You're not dealing with blind mechanical stuff. So your soul is this immutable consciousness. You see? It only changes the form that it creates and constructs for its own evolution. The form is your body. Mental, emotional, physical. These are vehicles. These are forms. You have thought forms, energy forms, physical forms, matter, material forms, okay? These are vehicles of expressions. These are houses. But the soul lives on, you see. Your form was born, but not your soul. So, because your soul always is. You're going to have people who got their beliefs and they're going to be all like, well, no, the soul isn't that. You see, you got your car and you got your barn and you got your kayak and you got all of that. And they think by breaking down all of that and giving you all of these separative flipping things, these parts that they know, when it's like, these are just concepts, dude. Trying to describe, trying to give you insight to yourself. So then you're going to have people turn around and talk about the parts and make out that you're the sum of your parts. When you're more than the sum of your parts. So you see the beliefs, okay? This is deep, man, because this is what's going to wage those who buy into this nonsense. And WW3, as I said, is number 13. So look up the number 13. You see, they got 10 years to wipe out 95% of the people on the planet. Now, you see, when you're talking from spiritual perspective, you got this love and light brigade that wants to say, oh, you shouldn't deal with no negativity, you know. Just talk love and light, you know. And they don't even know what the light of the light they're talking about, which is the light and love. You see, light is awareness and wisdom. Love is the primordial energy, the primordial substance of creation. It's the non-visible primordial energy. Yeah, it's love. Joy and ecstasy. That's the way infinite awareness felt about itself. When it, infinite awareness became aware of itself and focused its energy into the primordial energy we call life force, which includes your sexual energy, because it's creative energy. They've even demonized that. Yeah, you got people running around all sanctimonious, like they never had sex. Everything have sex, even plants. The way it goes. And then you think, oh gosh, sex is only for procreation. It's a low thing. And no, sex ain't only for procreation. It's creative life force energy. So that sexual energy, how you relate to the life force in you, is how you actually feel in yourself, the joy and the ecstasy, but they make you feel guilty about even opening up to the very force, the way, the nature of the force, the life force in you feels about itself. How you essentially feel about yourself, that joy and ecstasy. But now let's shut it down, right? Let's kind of put all these beliefs to demonize, your sexual energy. Then you got people who go out there now and judge other people about this and that. Listen, it's crazy stuff. You hold on to those type of beliefs, you're going to F yourself up. Yeah. It is about self-mastery, meaning mastering your own vibrations, because that's the only thing you can master and control. You can't go and control the situations out there. People just getting more angry, kicking off and reacting, oh Lord, and it's like, that ain't helping nothing. Yeah, you can shout and get more angry as you want. But where are you anyway? Where is that? You have to ask yourself, so what is that doing? Oh man. It's these beliefs and these repetitions of these same things. You got a fresh crew of people now coming into certain knowledge. And they're pumping out all of this stuff like it's new. And they don't realize you're just repeating the same things that folks 30 years ago knew. Okay? They already know. But you're like kind of dealing with this knowledge like, you see, there's no progression in it. You see, you have to walk your own path. You got to realize you're the path. You kind of go into these groups and organizations, and none of them is dealing with the reality of creation. None of them is dealing with the source, the true source of your, the knowledge of you. It's just talking about corporeal and history and ancestors. And it's like, but wait a minute, dude. You know what I mean? Souls come in here to grow, to expand its own reality of itself. And therefore, we've come in through different vehicles and different lines, lineages, for the soul's purpose. And you have a lot of these folk, they're going to keep you in a lower vibration because they themselves are not talking from knowing themselves as pure consciousness in the soul. They're talking from personality identification, past trauma, fixation, and identification. You see what I'm saying? Narratives in history that you don't even know if it's really true because you weren't there or have the memory to recollect to say, okay, let's discern what was true or not. No, you're going on a flipping narrative. So it's easy to control and manipulate the masses who just believe in what has been projected into their consciousness from external sources. You see? So this grand conjunction. Conjunction means to join together. It's a potent energy. Potent. So your personality is a vehicle for the soul. You're a personification, but you're not a person. If you keep believing you're a person, you will just catch hell. Because it's the person that's full of the fears, full of the psychological, emotional beliefs that it uses to define itself, or the traumatic experience, or, you believe you are limited to your parents who gave birth to the form, not you. Yeah. You're thinking, oh, those who lived before me, those ancestors of mine, yeah, let me call on to them. Well, you best be careful what you call upon, because not all the ancestors them is benevolent for you. Just like you got people in your family today. Not everybody. Some's negative, some's positive, some's negative. Right? Some of them are working and doing some nasty things to harm members in their own family or other people. And you're talking about ancestors with no discrimination. Huh? This is why I know people are cuckoo. And I don't care if someone wants to say, oh, I don't know business. You say what you want to say, I'll say what I'm saying. You are your ancestors. As a soul, you've lived prior life. You've experienced so much, experiences of prior lives that you've become your own ancestor. I mean, myself, for example, I look like my great-grandfather. Apparently was from Madagascar. I look like him. Who's to say that I'm not him? You see what I'm saying? But you're going to be looking at a graveside and say, oh, that's where they are. Listen, man, when you drop this vehicle, who you are, the essential nature of you is gone. All right? Moved on. Okay? To create another vehicle for further growth if chosen, if so to be. You see what I mean? And you could also incarnate into a different, what? Race of people. This is what some folk get really nonsense about because they think you were always in the corporeal suit that you're in now. You're always of the ethnicity of who you are born into now. Let me tell you something. What is in your heart? You see all the prejudice that people carry, all of the judgment and the resentment and all of this demonizing other people. They don't care if it's true or not. They just demonize you because of what's going on in them, right? And you see all of that type of feelings you carry in your heart for to justify why you treat other people and inflict them with trauma and do all this friggin' murderation and thing onto them. You see you carrying that in your heart. When this corporeal form gets dropped, when it's time to leave, you'll incarnate into the very, race that you had all that disdain about. Yeah. And you're going to be experiencing the trauma, those people that you had those feelings towards. Yeah. And now there you are, is fighting about, oh, look what they've done to us, and they've done this and all of that. But you don't know who the heck you are. All right? And you come into a race of people who is traumatized and being persecuted, all right? And demonized by others. But that's what you carried in your heart in prior incarnation. And now you are experiencing, yeah, firsthand what that feels like now. And you know the purpose of why the soul would create a structure, a personality now, a vehicle? Because it's the soul that's the cause. The soul don't have no fear and don't have all this prejudice that we have down here in this programmed identity. Yeah? The soul, I would know that is what it needs to purge from itself. All that forced nonsense. Crap. Yeah? So what does it do? You end up experiencing the very thing you used to afflict other people with, what you carried in your heart, what justified why you thought, yeah, let's treat these other people like scum. Let me, you create all these forced narratives and demonize them and all of that type of stuff, right? For other people to believe in, okay? And then people believe what they believe and start treating other people that way, all right? You end up, you carry that in your heart, you end up running into those very same race of people, those ethnicity. You see, this is how it works, right? And while you're there experiencing all of that, you're going to still carry that same, corrupt heart, that same prejudice and all of that resentment and all of that stuff for what you fear, yeah? You see, that's a grand opportunity to enable one to realize that. Why do you think they keep telling you in all of the, all of those who have moved before and ascended in themselves, expanded their consciousness, woke up out of this illusion, yeah, and integrated with reality again. You know what I mean? Why do you think they all told you that it was about, it's unconditional love? Why do you think they're telling you about unconditional love? Always comes back around to this unconditional love. And this love, I already explained, is the primordial energy, creative energy, the love, joy, ecstasy that universal consciousness feels about itself. And therefore focused and manifested that energy that all things would be created out of, the substance that all things would be created out of, meaning the form that it would be created. It would create the forms. And light was the first form out of that love, primordial, joyous, ecstatic energy of life. Yep. See. So, the unconditional love for yourself that you then radiate out to your environment and to others become the energy you receive back. But many people cannot love without conditions. Why? Because you've been given beliefs that make it hard for you to connect in that way. Because you believe. What you believe in is separation. What you believe in is not even the truth of whom and what you are. But it becomes your truth, though, if you own that. This is how it's so... This is why things are so... the energies are so pertinent this time in order to purge y'all. So we can have that room to expand our consciousness. So we're living in a timeline where now you could decide to be the real you. Whereas before, you had to conform to what other people believed of you and how they wanted to treat you. We're in a different time now. So what I'm saying here is to show you that, look, right? If you get caught up in these limited beliefs, fear-based beliefs, look, you got people calling other people things. You don't even know them. Oh, I don't like them. I don't like them. You got people... Look, man, what you got in your heart is what's going to bring you back into incarnation where you're going to experience we are going to experience what that feels like directly, for you to change, for you to let go of that limited belief, that illusion. Yeah, this is what folk don't get, you know. Then you're going to have race wars based on what people believe about themselves. I'm not saying that, look, man, the atrocity that's been going on this planet for centuries, this is, you know, this is not something that one is saying, oh yeah, just forget all about that. In a way, you're not about forgetting it. You need to heal yourself from it. You got some people who turn around and says, never forget. We will never forget, because if you don't forget, it can happen again. Yeah, but it's happening again because you keep it. You're not growing beyond that. Who are you beyond all of that experience? And it's not only one group of people that's experiencing affliction in this world. And as I explained, what you carry in your heart, you will incarnate into a race who's experiencing that type of prejudice that you carried in your heart prior, because of the erroneous separative beliefs you carried. So we're going to turn around and get all caught up with these beliefs that are not real, not true, but you make them true. Yeah, because that's the amount of power you got. You got the power to give your power. You got the power to give your power away or to take it back. So what do you want to do? Yeah, what do you want to do? Take your power back and your authority, yeah, within yourself, or do you want to keep giving your power away and then complaining about how other people are mistreating you by using that power you're giving away? So look, man, you see, the beliefs you carry, you need to examine this stuff. Let go of the old framework, because the old framework cannot be, you cannot build in the future now from that old framework. So what is shaping the perception you have of yourself? You see, the soul self, symbolized by the sun, in its creative self-actualization. Pluto's representing the evolutionary process of your soul, okay? And then you got Mercury, which would be your mental perception you're holding on to, okay? This is all what's lined up in this grand conjunction right here, yeah? So Mercury is representing that, what, a mental perception you're holding on to. So Sun and Mercury is sextiling Pluto. There's always these relationships that all these planets and energies have with each other. Everything is relationships, okay? And a kind of the relationship. You can have harmonious relating, or you could have a disharmonious relating, okay? One will create, you know, positive outcomes. The other one would be destructive and negative. You see what I'm saying? Yeah? So it's questions to ask yourself. What is shaping the perception you have of yourself? What's shaping it? What are you believing? And where did it come from? Yeah. And then Mercury is symbolizing the mental perceptions we are holding on to. And then now the Sun and Mercury also in Capricorn is going to sextile Neptune, because Capricorn sextiles Neptune. What do I mean by sextile? It means 60 degrees. Yeah, that's what it means. Sex comes from the word six. Yeah. Sex comes from the word six. That's why you got a hexagonal, you know, six-pointed side thing. Sex comes from six, okay? 2 3s. And 3 is the square root of 9. 9's completion. In order to then move into a new cycle, a new beginning. So Sun and Mercury sextiling Neptune. What that's saying is the energy it's bringing forth is saying there's the need to transcend limiting beliefs about oneself and what you believe about others and your world. There is a need to transcend the limited beliefs and fears about oneself, and revealing is the revealing of hidden use and abuse of power. So this is why what's coming out is all about all the pedophilia, all of that stuff been going on in all of those flipping external, unauthentic authorities outside of yourself, feeding you with all this bullshit, belief systems, BS, all right, while it's being, while it's being abusing you with what it's been using to have power over you. It's been abusing you with the power you've been giving it. Yeah. So it's about, so we're to move into emotional independence to liberate us or oneself from past emotional conditioning. So let me say that again. The time is the need to transcend limiting beliefs about oneself, and it's also revealing the hidden use and abuse of power. Okay? To move into an emotional independence to liberate oneself from past emotional conditioning. Remember, we're going to have a full moon in Cancer. We're going to have a full moon on the 10th of January. Yeah, in Cancer. Cancer's water. It's about emotions. It's about, hang on a minute, your emotional conditioning. It's about your emotional security. Yeah. Meaning you got to let go of all of these limited beliefs which affect the way you emotionally respond or react, how you relate to yourself. So there's a need for integration. And let me tell you this, unity takes place within the individual. See all these folks chatting about, we need to unite, You've been hearing this for decades, centuries. Unity takes place in the individual. That's the reason why unity ain't here yet. Because a lot of people believe unity is about being in a group, wearing the same kind of garments, believing in the same doctrine. Yeah? And you're fighting the same enemy. Listen to this. While groups, those beliefs, those groups are having in-house fighting amongst their own bloody selves based upon their flipping beliefs, based upon their concept they have of themselves, the perception they have of themselves. And then they want you to carry that same perception in order to feel, oh, you belong and you're a part of them. Yeah. But if you don't feel that same way about yourself, then it's like you're the one who has an issue because what them believe is the truth. You can't say what people are doing. Yeah, all of that. But you don't want to see what you're doing to yourselves. There's people of your own kind you just got to keep away from. You can't fucking trust them. They'll turn around and fucking cuss out your ass and gossip and be character assassinating you behind your face. Yeah. But hey, yo, man, next minute, same breath, they're gonna be chatting about, look what they're doing to our people, and yeah. It's a joke, yeah. It's a joke. But those who are coming into this knowledge freshly, just they're gonna take that up, man. They're gonna be taking it up and running with it and being all intense about it and don't realize, look, man, it's stuff that it's not new. And because they are just coming into this knowledge, they presume that others don't know. When it's like all you're doing is just chatting fucking rhetorical, you're just chatting stuff that is nothing new. We've been in this already. We know about this stuff. The thing is about, you got to update and grow and expand beyond the limitations of the parameters of those beliefs. Because you're self-perpetuating something. You're assisting in self-perpetuating what you're choosing to believe. And you don't want to see what you're doing in your own selves. Look, you got in-house fighting with people of the same kind. Okay, what's up? Yeah? You got people of different kind that would actually be more, you may get on better with. Yeah? Now, there's all the mannerisms of agendas to kind of separate people, man. Yes, you got the color divide. You got racial wars may kick off. Yeah? It's the war games, people. It's a game. I mean, I show you how it's a game is on another level. You don't even die. Your body will go down and stuff, but you don't die. So it's a game. You see? And you have to ask yourself, do you want to play this game anymore? I'm done with this. It's a new game coming forward, if we're going to use the term game, because all of this is still a hologram. It's not real in the permanent sense. So it's a game. And now the game is over and it's a new rules. You see, when you're dealing with a game, it's like also you're playing by the rules of that game. Well, the rules have changed. And you got folk who's still going to want to play the old game when actually the energies coming in now does not support the old structure and the old game. The game now is unity consciousness. And can you align with your divine essence and live from there, regardless of all the crap that you're hearing, being projected for you to buy in and believe, and get afraid about with, The game is, can you stand in your divine essence? Can you be responsible for the vibration you choose to hold? Yeah. Can you love yourself, right? Can you love yourself, right? In the midst of all of this external nonsense that is trying to distract you and put you out of alignment with you, the higher waves, cosmic waves that you're supposed to be riding, supposed to be embracing this. Yeah. So can you love yourself regardless of what negativities folks are saying, the crappy, all this warmongering type of stuff? Huh? Do you have the fuel of gasoline in your heart, or do you have life-giving water? Are you just waiting for something to spark you up so you can use it as an excuse to act out from and rebel from your trauma under the guise of, oh, I'm helping the people, it's for the people? You hear all of that friggin' talk, Yet you're cussing out folk who look like you at a drop of a hat because, don't talk to me like, you got issues. So let's stop messing around with this fake love crap, And this is where I look at it. This is how I'm feeling, because I'm talking about, sitting with yourself and tapping into the divine in yourself. That's the way you're going to get home to know who you are. Right now, in Jamaica, you got a lot of the fundamental Christians. And based upon what they believe in. You see, people don't understand that we are all contributing as energy beings to a collective field of energy that is being put out into the atmosphere that affects other people, because we're all interconnected. And if those beliefs are all just toxic, man, then that's what you're fucking gonna bring back to you. And that's what you're also imbuing other people with, you see. So this World War III, basically, you want to kind of just don't buy into the nonsense, because that's what they want you to do. So you give power to their hologram. You start putting out energy, fear, and all that business. You now give them the fuel to create the bullshit that they want to create for you all to fight. And while you're busy fighting amongst yourselves, the real puppeteer who's controlling stuff on all sides is in their little bunkers, or, they've left the scene and left you all to fight amongst yourselves. So it's time to be far more wiser, folks. That's why I don't into none of this politics stuff. Because politicians are basically ones who used to be in the herd, like the herd mentality. And they, you get people who begin to work out, how the system works. Yeah. Oh, I see how this works. So they move themselves up the ranks till they're at the front. Okay. And now they become your politicians, because they've worked out, this is how the system works. This is how I can get what I want. Yeah. And then you're going to look at this dude in the front and think that, he has more knowledge, or he has some high rank. No, they're just same like you, but they've just got to the front of the herd and now leading the herd. Yeah. But their desires are for the same herd desires of materialism and all of that type of stuff. So that's what politicians are. They're no elevated beings. Not saying that the consciousness of some of them may not be tapped into something very more elevated. But I'm just saying that politicians and prime ministers and all that type of stuff, They were just those who are herd mentality, worked out how this stuff works. And now they're standing at the front, getting things for themselves, while you're still the herd looking up at them and expecting and listening to it, just repeating shit that you've heard them say. And they're lying to you. And now what's going to come out, and what is coming out, is going to make you now, you're going to realize, fucking heck, you've been lying to all your life. And now it's for you the time to wake up to the truth which resides in you. Not for you to run out there like X-Files looking for some freaking truth up the ass of some tree. It's in you. The truth is in you. Full moon in Cancer eclipse. We got a full moon eclipse in Cancer on the 10th. And as I said earlier, this is the same day Uranus goes direct in Taurus. So all the planets are direct. So by the time we get to the grand conjunction, the moon will be waning. What does this now mean? It's getting weaker. It was full, and now it's now going to wane. It's going to get weaker. When it waxes, it's getting stronger. So it means that you're going to have to kind of, it's saying that you need, letting go of this egocentric identity in order to step into the soul sovereignty of yourself. You got to give up the ego and pride. So you were mistaken. So what? You were wrong. Now you can be corrected. But yeah, a lot of folk don't want to be wrong. As if to say, shit, that's the end of it. You know, that's it. They're dead. They're going to be annihilated because they're wrong. No, you give yourself the opportunity to be corrected so you can get it right. You feel what I'm saying? But the ego, you see, you got to dissolve the ego and pride. This is what it's going to show you. You got to dissolve that ego and pride. You got some folks so damn stubborn. I know some Cancerians, that's how they is. But that does not mean that's all Cancerians. I'm just saying that you got folk, because you're dealing with this emotional security when you're dealing with water, you're dealing with cancer, right? Cancer. These words that they use as now for a disease, but cancer means to preserve, okay? That's the meaning. So in a way you can say that these cancerous cells are trying to preserve itself, you know what I mean? Eating up all healthy cells. But the point being is that it represents the emotional body, the archetype cancer, your emotional security. It represents the womb, the mother, your first early emotional nurturing, that you receive, and how your behavior was conditioned based upon, the mother or the nurturing principle. Now, not for everyone. Everyone wasn't nurtured lovingly, emotionally. Okay, that's a fact. Not everybody was. So that shapes your emotional sense of security and your emotional needs and your reactions of your ego to get your needs met outside of you. That is all ego, and that is saying this full moon is going to dissolve. You say, you need to dissolve your ego and pride. Dissolve the ego and pride, so you can step into the authentic self, sovereign field of soul identity. That's one. This is what these energies are helping support you to get to that place in yourself. So a lot's going down, and then and then you got people, so many people picking up and sense, what people are picking up and are sensing in the collective field. Many people don't even know what to do with themselves. The time to step into the power of self-definition to realize your true essence and live from there. This is what the new game is. Not the war games, not the separative consciousness. It's about unity consciousness. And I said unity starts in the individual, not out there sitting in a mother flipping room with all these people who say, but you all believe the same flipping ideology, which is what? That stuff, how is it serving you? Keeping you in freaking pain and anger and all of that stuff. Therefore, you're in a vibration that's totally out of tune with the frequency of your higher self. You need to walk your own paths. All y'all in these groups looking for belonging and all that stuff. Your sense of belonging outside of yourself. You need to walk your own path because you're the path. See, no one can walk your path for you. You're going to realize you are the path you're on, the path towards your what? Further growth, expansion, right? And self-mastery. And therefore, you being true to your path, your vibrational frequency will resonate with others who have similar, is on a similar vibration to you. Now, there's a term called your vibe attracts your tribe. This is what starts to take place. Yeah. Because it's who you are as a vibrational being that's going to be important. Not the flipping things you use to label yourself with and walk around to give yourself some kind of status or feel that you're better than others. And then you get others who who suffer from inferiority complex, so they're always judging others who they feel inferior to as being all, as being all, look at them, they think they're all that. But it's because you carry an inferiority complex and you don't feel that you're all that. So you have to pull down others to feel better about yourself. You see, all of that happens too. So you really got to be honest and know where you are coming from. And it's not about being defined by others. And some people are going to repeat what I've said. And some people are going to, I know I've met some folk and they're trying to tell me what I've already have told them. So this is the type of thing, What it is, just take what resonates with you that helps you tune into the authentic I of yourself. Yeah? That's how you deal with all this info. Yeah? What resonates with you, and you take that in to what resonates and helps you, assists you to align and tune in to your authentic self, your soul. Okay? But if you're a drama motherfucker and palaver, whatnot, all of this pain and trauma you want to keep recycling, I'm out of that classroom, y'all. You need to step out of there because you're responsible for yourself. Yeah, you're looking for other people to lead you. In 2020 is about clear vision. You need to get clear with yourself. That's what it is. Not freaking looking for somebody else to tell you what to believe, what to think, and depending on them interpreting your history for you, or her story, or whatever you want to call it. Listen, man, you're the greatest mystery, and it's time for that mystery to be revealed, and it's waking up to you. It's consciousness realizing itself. This is what the time we're in now. This is why it's about liberation. It's Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. You see what I'm saying? So, we're tipping the scales of consciousness with we're tipping the scales with our consciousness. It's your consciousness which is the power. So, yeah. So I think I've touched on all of what I wanted to say. Cosmic roots, y'all. You're cosmic beings. And what it's about tuning into the cosmic reality of one's true self. Of our true self. Listen, you got hybrids walking up and down here. You got clones. You got manufactured people which don't have the empathy and the connection as soul beings, do. That's why you can have people like that used to go around and kill whole heap of people without feeling any empathy to the harm they're inflicting on others. So that shows you there's something disconnected there. So you got a soul, you need to tune into that, realize you are that. And now expand the knowledge of that in your life. You see what I mean? All right, y'all. It's that time. It's that time. And unity takes place within the individual. You can't stop what goes on out there, because what goes on out there is a reflection of what's going on inside. You see? What brings forth unity is uniting within yourself with that which is the source of all life and form. Knowing your direct origin to the source of all, that's the unity you align with in yourself. See, every time you go to sleep, your consciousness is moving into different dimensions and you're picking up info as you communicate with higher aspects of yourself on higher density levels. So you're more than just this corporeal, what you're seeing with your fleshy eyes, here with your ears, and repeating and regurgitating the news you keep hearing, being thrown to you and projected to you. Yeah. You got folk who just putting on workshops about mental health or relationships or, oh, what happened to the youths? And you'll never solve that problem from the level you're approaching it at. Because the problem and the solution is within what the fuck you believe, your perception you have in yourself. See, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, right? So I grew up seeing a lot of black folks with natural hair, afros. My sisters work, my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Afros. Now in this time you're hearing flipping people making arguments about, oh, they won't let us go natural. Like you need some bloody person's permission for you to decide how you want to walk out, and present yourself. You don't need nobody's permission to go natural if that's what you want to do. But you want to make issues out of that because you don't have the confidence to be you. You don't have the confidence to be, hey, young man, yourself. You need somebody else's ass permission. And now turn it into, oh, you see, they won't let us do this and they won't let us do that. Huh? This is nonsense, man. This is the time for taking back your power and authority of self-definition. And I don't mean now create another egocentric freaking identity. That makes you feel, oh yeah, you know, that separates you more. Oh yeah, I'm, you know. You're some awakener when it's like everyone's got to awaken, you know. But it's not going to be for everybody in this day and time because it depends, doesn't it? All you can do is awaken yourself and be what? That catalyst, influence, yeah? That through your energy, what you're saying, it helps activate that awareness in others that can begin to wake up more, expand into more of themselves because you're infinite consciousness. That's what you are. And what's putting brakes on you is the limited fear-based beliefs you've been programmed with. Remember, you're not being educated in none of these institutions. Education means to rear out that which is latent within. And that's not what's going on. What you're getting is programmed. So now you get very intellectually so-called educated fools, as you know, the brother singing his song, yeah? Educated fools think that they're cool. When no one's really educated, when you understand the true meaning of the word, unless you are doing that for yourself, raising yourself up. If you're not being taught about the true nature of yourself, and I don't mean this flipping stuff about just your history and what you've done in the past on this physical earthly plane. I'm talking about the true nature of yourself, the life in you, the eternal being of light and love, vibration, consciousness that you are. I'm talking about that. You see, that would be education, because that's going to rear out of you the infinite potential you have already latent within. But if you're being programmed, given just, look, people can get PhDs and master degrees by just writing the correct blimmin' answers, memorizing the correct answers on a piece of paper. It doesn't mean they know how to do what they got the correct answers for. This is what they call education, people. And the hypocrisy is that while you got a lot of folks knowing that, no, man, I'm teaching lies in these schools and in this system, yeah? While they say that, if you're not educated and don't have what they call educated, if you don't have a PhD or you don't have some letters, alphabets at the end of your name, these same folk won't listen to you. Isn't that ironic? You have to come from the institutions to have any kind of mannerism, knowledge for those your own folk or any people to take you seriously. Ain't that some sick shit? While you run down the very system, you define people's intelligence by it. rather than realizing that the intelligence already within you is far superior to what you're getting fed in these blimmin' places. So your beliefs and your perceptions is what's going to be used to create whatever freaking war is if you buy into that rubbish. Someone's being announced as dead. You don't know if they're dead. It's just what you've been bloody told. The person could be sipping some, martini, some kind of, upon some beach with the crew that he's friends with, that you believe on the ground level, oh, they're enemies. That's only for you all. That's all the game and the play for you guys. For when I say you guys, for the public. So they can spin any narrative they want. And look how people, you just fucking believe this stuff. You don't think into yourself. You don't go, You don't feel. In fact, there's too much damn thinking. You need to feel into the intuitive intelligence to let you know, what's going on here? This ain't real. I'm not buying into that. So you stay in your higher frequency. Don't let nothing distract you. Don't let this stuff out here distract you. Yeah, you're going to feel things. You're going to feel stuff that may feel uncomfortable, but you manage yourself. You don't go knee-jerking because of what you heard on freaking CNN or flipping BBC. So on that, I think I've said, yeah. So the grand conjunction. I think this is what I'm going to call the grand conjunction, yeah. Because this is opportunity to dissolve your ego and pride. Dissolve it. So you can align up with your sovereign self. Because this is about the soul. This is about, can you be used as your physical vehicle for your soul, the will of source, to express itself through and to be inspired by source. People call it God or whatever, but whatever you want to call it. But understand there's a nature, true nature. There's a true nature that you're reflecting, you're a reflection of. You are the divine essence. You're a reflection of the absolute divine essence of all life with its nature. That's why it means you created an image and likeness. Not in the physical image and likeness, but in the image and likeness with the same likeness. You're in the same nature. You are of the same nature of life. And you have to embrace life and trust life and love life. That is you. That is the life force moving through you and all around you as you, which remains and continues after this corporeal vehicle has decided to, you've decided to let it go. You understand? So it's about loving life itself within your own being, man. And anyone who's around still want to hold on to these things that pulling your frequency down. You trying to communicate with them, and they always want to tell you about who's doing this, and they want to fight, and they want to take shit out in the street, and you must follow them in their murderous intentions. These people don't. They're just acting, rebelling out of their trauma. There's a difference to rebelling out of awareness, insight, knowledge, and wisdom. Okay, different in rebelling from that place. Because you have woken, you've awakened to the games that's been played, and now with your knowledge and your inner light and your truth, yeah, you then speak the truth, yeah, all right, about these things and show that you don't believe them things and make other people wake up from them things so they can realize the truth themselves. But if you're gonna rebel out of just freaking, yeah, let me express my trauma, mash up things, and have other people buy into the same old rubbish. That, because if you carry in your heart this stuff, this is why it's like, guard thy heart with all diligence, because out of your heart is the issue of all life. And what it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he become. So you need to check what's in your heart. Because if you are seeing things come up and it's reflecting and it's provoking and it's reacting you, yeah, it's challenging your beliefs. And if you got all of this resentment about others, you don't even know what you can't remember what the else you've done to maybe afflict this thing upon you. You can't remember. As I said, man, what you carry in your heart is what you will incarnate into. You'll incarnate into the heart of that situation. Yeah, let's put it that way. What you carry in your heart will make you incarnate into the heart of the situation you now find yourself in your new incarnation. That's why it's about purifying your heart from all of the separative thinking and beliefs that clutter it with resentment and hatred and all these false narratives. Shit you're just believing in. And we're not here to be the flipping same. You know, you don't turn around and cuss and start to critique other flowers because they're of a different color to the others. It's crazy. You need to embrace diversity because diversity is another way of seeing, you know, for you to access your own uniqueness. No one is special than anybody else. Everyone is unique. Everybody doesn't want to appear to be normal or ordinary, yeah? So they want to present themselves as being special. So this is where you get the egocentric spiritual identities and all that stuff. But what I'm saying to you is that, look, we're all unique individual reflections of source. So just tune into your own uniqueness. You wouldn't have time to be wondering if you're more special or somebody's more special than you. That's rubbish. Just get rid of that. Just deal with your own uniqueness. We're not all here to be the same. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, I'll go past, I'm going to end it for tonight. So the time is 22:21. Interesting. And the conjunction with Saturn is 22 degrees. Saturn and Pluto, 22. So I am gonna, so yes, y'all. So I trust all of this made some kind of sense to y'all. And this is some serious times there. And I've just got a message. Shall I read this on? Good show, Siayome. I'm praying every day to the universe to let me awaken a bit more every day and meditation. Now I know why I am now being able to be more and less totally alone to absorb myself. Yes. You need to be, yes, absolutely. You know, when we're dealing with the universe as well, understand it's universal consciousness. Universal consciousness. You are an extension of universal consciousness. Universal consciousness is life, intelligence, fullness. But yes, definitely sit and meditate. Spend time with yourself. This is not a time to run up and down all of the, align with the natural flow. Everything is going into hibernation and reflecting so you can come out stronger. Yeah? So you need to be clear with yourself. And how are you going to do that? Spend time with yourself. Or if you're going to spend time with others, be on a similar wavelength. You know what I mean? So, on that note, I'll go wish you all, my cosmic brothers and sisters, a good shadow hours. And I'll be with you next Sunday. All right? No, what am I saying Sunday? Gee! Next Tuesday. All right? And, wish you all the best. And, ride those waves, yo. And, align with your soul. The new game is about, can you stand in your soul essence and be that no matter what? That's the game. And you start to expand even more. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. And if you like the content, do give it a thumbs up. All right? Okay.